Hi YouTube, I'm dyeing my hair and I gotta move all these clothes because for some reason they put them all on this fucking seat. But anyway, I don't know if they're clean or dirty, but that's none of my business. I don't know. I'm just bored and my baby's sleeping. I took him outside to get some sun, but you know what? Me and my boyfriend had a convo. Oh shit. Well, we broke up a few times. I got problems. Bitch, he knows, but he's still sweet to me. And every time I'm like, why? I'm a bitch sometimes. But he still loves me, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know what to tell you. But we were having a conversation about squirting. And then he asked me if I want to go to Texas Roadhouse. I'm like, yeah, that sounds nice. And like, we decided to like stop being intimate because we're having like issues. Like, you know, like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, we're having like issues. So like, I was like, you know, we kind of decided like it's best for us to like stay friends or whatever. But like, every time I'm like his friend, like everything's going so well, and then he just fucks me. And then I'm like, Devin. And then all my feelings come back, my negative feelings of the past. And then I'm like, and then I get all angry. And then I'm crying. I'm like, why? Why did this happen? And he's like, I never meant for that to happen. I'm not going to go into detail because I believe in some privacy. But like, I think it's okay to talk about some stuff. And also I'm working on losing weight because I need to. Girl, I saw this picture of me on Snapchat. I thought I was fat. I was like 136. Now I'm 171. And I sat there and thought I was fat and 136. And I was sitting there looking at myself. Because that's when I worked out all the time. And I sat there and looked at myself and I said, how the fuck did I sit there and think I was obese at that time? Because literally, I was like in good shape. And like now I'm like flabby as fuck. And like I'm sitting here like this. Why can't... You know, why can't that be me now? So I'm working on myself because I've been eating a lot of fast food since I got pregnant. That's why I'm flabulous. But at the end of the day, bitch, it's fine. Like, I'm still comfortable with my flab even though it's like hanging around. But you know, like some people, like they have flab and it doesn't look good. Like, I feel like some people look better with flab than others. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people can hold their fat better than other people. Like, some people got, like, a weird shape going on. Like, their legs is like this, and then their top's like that. It's like, I don't know about that. But, like, some people, when they have flab, it's like boobs, tummy, ass, you know? I feel like that's where I am right now. And, like, all I had today was a coffee and a cake pop from Starbucks. And, like, I feel like my stomach is, like, receding. So, I don't know. Because I used to be able to eat, like, once a day and be fine. I don't know, like, I don't know what happened to me. I just, you know, once I got pregnant, I just got, like, depressed. I was like, I want fried chicken. It was crazy. Because I didn't know. I didn't want to get pregnant at the time. I thought I would be married before I get pregnant, and then it just kind of happened. Like, we didn't even date that long. We were dating for, like, a few weeks, and I was like, oh, no, bitch. You know, it was scary. And I didn't know. I didn't know what it was going to be like to have a baby, and that shit hurt. That shit hurt real bad. Like, oh, let me tell you, bitch, that shit hurt. Like, it was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 13. That, I'm not even joking. Like, you don't know until you're giving birth, then you're like, oh my God. Like, for me personally, it felt like I was dying. Like, I was going to die, and like, I was in hell being tortured by Satan. That's what it felt like when I was having contractions. Like, I shit you not. That's really what it felt like. I felt like I was living in hell, having contractions, dying, suffering. I don't know. It was awful. And honestly, I don't wish that pain on anybody. Ever. Ever at all. Because that shit hurts. And like, I see mothers in a new way now. I see mothers like crazy bitches. Because honestly, especially ones with multiple kids, like 8 or 12 kids. Even 2. It's like, whoa, you really did that. You really did that multiple times. Like, whoa. Like, bitch, You're stronger than I am, girl. Let me tell you something. Ooh. But anyway, I got the epidural at 7 centimeters dilated. Let me tell you something. That shit, I thought I was dying. Like, I literally was panicking. I thought I was dying. And I knew the epidural existed, so I literally was like, I need it. I need it now. I need it. I was literally almost at the maximum that I could have been for the epidural. So I literally made it, like, just in time. And, like, honestly, that shit hurt. And not only that, I didn't have the epidural when I was pushing, because I was like, I hadn't gotten any sleep the day prior, and I was like passing out. And since I couldn't feel anything, I was like sleeping while they told me to push the baby out. I was like falling asleep. So we had to ask her to turn down the epidural. So it went from a 10 to a 2. Bitch, let me tell you. On the level 2, I was on the level 2 on the epidural. I felt so much pain. I don't even know what a level 0 would be. Bitch. Why? I can't explain. Men will never understand. They don't understand how much pain. If you have a wife and she gave birth to your baby, you better treat her like a fucking princess, bitch. Because if you don't, I'm gonna beat your ass. No, not really, but like, you don't know. You don't know what it feels like. I thought that, you know, when I was in an abusive relationship, I got kneed in the stomach really hard, and it like knocked the wind out of me, and I thought I was gonna die there. That I thought would be more painful than childbirth. And it was sore for weeks. Like, I had internal bleeding. That shit I thought that was gonna be worse than childbirth, because at that time that was the worst pain I've ever felt. Bitch, I was wrong. That was the equivalent to maybe 1 contraction. One contraction, bitch. And there's so many contractions, I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. It really feels like you're dying. For me, that's how it was. And like my mom, like she had her first baby, she said she didn't feel like that, but her second baby, she did feel like that. So I'm just thinking, like, maybe my body's just like, just actually dying. I think that could have been it, and that's why I was like, okay. You know, I think maybe that people died because, like, their brain just shut down because it didn't want to be alive anymore after all that pain. Because honestly, I really thought I was dying. It was awful. It was the worst. Yeah. But anyway, I'm dyeing my hair at the front. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm also trying to get a job because I don't have a job right now. But rent's only like $175, so I'm not worried about it because I already paid it for the month. And I have like $700 saved up, and that's not a lot, but like it'll last me at least another month to get a job, you know. And I had an interview today at Dillard's for like $16 an hour, so hopefully I'll be getting something. If not, bitch, just fuck you. Fuck you. Honestly. But it's fine. Whatever. I don't know. But anyway, you know, there's plenty of jobs out there. I quit Lowe's because I worked in customer service, and honestly, I felt like I was doing way more than other people. And I just felt like, you know, after I came back from maternity leave, everyone was like, oh my god, we missed you so much. And now I understand why, because everybody would just sit back and watch me while they just lazed around and talked. And I was sitting there like, maybe I need to go. So then I walked out on my lunch the 3rd day back, and I laughed. And then my boyfriend took me to Chipotle. He didn't care. I'm glad. I asked him before. I just wanted to make sure he didn't care. But he didn't. So I was like, okay. Oh shit, I just called him my boyfriend. You know, he's still my boyfriend. Even though we broke up multiple times. Look, I don't know. I can't tell you something. There's been issues. We don't need to talk about it. But I got issues. Okay, I got issues with the past. And he's got issues with me bringing that up. Because I do it all the time. And he's like, Scarlett, how are we supposed to have a healthy relationship if you're living in the past? And I'm like, Devin, I have mental issues. I got OCD. It comes back every fucking day. What do you want? But anyway, I already told him this multiple times. And he also doesn't believe me when I say I'm a bitch. He's like, you're not a bitch. And I'm like, Devin, I am a bitch. He doesn't believe me. And I'm like, Devin, I'm a bitch. Like, why don't you believe me? There's bitches. I'm one of them. I'm just not as much of a bitch as I used to be. Look, I used to be a real bitch. Let me tell you something. When I was 19, I was the bitchest of all bitches. Here's what I did. Let me tell you. You might hate my guts after this, but if you do, then you're not my friend. And you're not welcome on my channel, bitch. But anyway, so here's what happened. When I was 19, I was a dumb fuck. So I did LSD with this guy. And, like, during the LSD trip, I was like, I masturbated in his room, and he watched me. This is disgusting. I told you, I was just a bitch. Let me tell you the whole story. And then, it was just really weird. And then, you know, we had sex, and then he wanted to date me, and I was like, because I just had sex with my ex-boyfriend the day prior to that. My ex-boyfriend. And I was like, and I was in love with my ex-boyfriend because, I mean, at the time, you know, we just had a lot in common, and he was, you know, good looking. So it's just like, and then I went from that to Miles. He was like the opposite. No, and he was a weed guy. He was my weed guy. Oh, God. The trap house phase of life. The trap house phase of life. Look, I'm more mature now. I'm almost 26, and I was 19 back then. You know, they say people don't change, but that's not true. People do change. If they want to change, if you've learned your lessons, you will change. If you haven't, then you won't. Like, you can't be a stubborn bitch your whole life. You gotta change. And then, you know, after we were together for a while, like, honestly, on our first date, he said I wasn't hot. And I was like, he said he was joking. But I was like, you're dumb. You're literally a 0 out of 10. But, yeah. Like, I know he was just being a dumbass. But at the end of the day, he's always been like that. In high school, he used to bully me. He used to pull my hair and call me fat. And I dated the guy. And that's why I wanted revenge. Let me tell you the story. So, I dated him. And then, after a few months, I was, like, hallucinating one night. I think it's because, like, I was having, like, PTSD from my LSD trip that I had. And then, like, I was, like, hallucinating, and my brain wasn't, like, working correctly. And then, like, I went in his brother's room when he was sleeping, and I asked him for sex. Oh! His brother, because his brother lived, like, literally in the room right next to his. It was awful. It was awful. Why did I do that? Like I said, my brain wasn't working correctly at that time. Like, I know what I was going through. Nobody else does, and it's fine. I do think that the LSD had a negative effect on my brain. I think my brain wasn't, you know, chemically balanced, and I think I was having, you know, my thoughts were jumbled. They didn't make sense. And I'm not making excuses, but I'm just saying, like, I know what I was going through from my own perspective. So, like, I mean, it's okay if nobody understands. I don't really care. But from my perspective, I understand it 100%. So I know that, I mean, it wasn't justified by any means, but it was like, I know what I was going through, so I understand why I did that. But I shouldn't have. And I know I shouldn't have while I did it, but my brain, like I said, that night I was hallucinating, you know, right before I went into his room, I saw, like, this giant red face, and I thought that was God telling me, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? I'm not joking. I saw this giant red face made out of sand, and I've seen that before when I got high on weed and pills, weed and pills. When I was like 17, I saw a red face that looked similar, very similar, and that's what I call the paranoia frequency. But anyway, because, like, red sand, like the Chladni plates, like, when you, like, are at a certain frequency, it, like, creates a pattern. That's what it was like. It was, like, made out of this weird red sand, and then, like, I think it was based off of my, like, my thoughts and my intention and, like, what I was doing. I think that is a form of God itself, like, just materializing in little particles that you can visually see. I don't know. But that's what it was. And then I went into the room. I didn't listen to God. And that's why I got bad karma. So I've learned my lesson, you know, don't ask people for sex. And he didn't break up with me after that. He didn't. Not at all. He just cried. And then, you know, after, like, honestly, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel awful. But at the same time, you were rude. You bullied me in high school. And honestly, fuck you. Sorry. But anyway, like, honestly, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just left you the fuck alone. You know, teenagers, they're not adults. I could tell you that much, they're not. But anyway, you know, you learn your lesson from stuff like that, and then it became abusive. We started, like, arguing on, it just makes sense. Everything made sense, you know. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch and then complain that somebody hates you because you've been a bitch. Like, you're a bitch. You need to own up to your bitchness, and you need to change so people can like you and so you can have positive vibes in your life. Because if you don't, God will get you. God will turn into a red face and look you right in the eyes and tell you without any words to stop. That's what happened to me. But I was also, like, diagnosed with psychosis later, because I went into the mental institution, and then, like, I was diagnosed with psychosis, but I don't take meds for it, and I feel great. I feel fine. Like, I feel like I cured it on my own by becoming more social, because I feel like psychosis is, like, an internal thing, and if you're, like, not socializing, you are not in the external world, you are in the internal, and I feel like if you're in the internal, your thoughts and everything just becomes jumbled, everything starts to be creepy, you start to think delusional thoughts. You gotta get out of the external to cure it by yourself, and that's what I did. Now, I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but I am a bitch, and I am a bitch, and I can tell you, that's what worked for me, and honestly, I feel fine. I don't hallucinate anymore. I did hallucinate dragons for a while at night, like particle dragons at night after I did LSD a few times, and honestly, it was really annoying to see those dragon faces. I saw them every night for like a year, and I was like, I'm tired of you. It wasn't scary, it was just annoying. I was like, I don't want to see dragons and the particles. You know those little particles you see at night, that it turned into dragons, and I'm like, why? Why dragons? Like, out of all things, dragons? Could have been Kirby or anime boys. No, dragons. I don't, not hentai girls with their boobs hanging out, but dragons. Okay? Well, anyway, I'm just saying, like, out of all the things, dragons, I don't even like dragons. Is that why I saw them? Because God hates me? God's like, here are some dragons to annoy you so you won't do drugs anymore. I'm like, dragons. Okay, sorry, I'm talking about dragons too much. But I do have a cut on my finger. Oh yeah, so that whole thing was to kind of like, because I hated Miles, my ex-boyfriend, and like it did become abusive, and like I just kind of did that because like he bullied me in high school, like a lot, and I hated him. And you know, you learn your lesson, don't be a bitch to people, just leave them the fuck alone, because it creates drama in your life, you get bad karma, you know, people start to hate you, you do bad things, you start to hate yourself, you start to become suicidal, like, there's just a lot of issues. And if you're gonna be a bitch, don't. Try not to, you know, work on yourself, because I worked on myself, and now, my boyfriend, even though I'm a bitch, like, I think I'm a bitch sometimes, he tells me I'm not a bitch. And I'm like, you know, if you talk to a few of my exes, they would say I'm a bitch. But, thank you. Thank you for thinking that. But I try my best with Devin. We had a baby together. You know, I try my best, and I think that's why there's still a lot of, like, love there and respect, and he still, like, shows me he loves me, even if we aren't on the best of like terms relationship wise. And I feel like that's a really positive thing, because like friendship is very important, and like me and him never really got to establish like an actual friendship before we like started like having sex and stuff. So I was like, Devin, I don't want to be a bitch to you. I think we need to be friends, and like if we feel the urge to like, you know, be more than that in the future, I think that that would be okay. But I think we need to like really like become like besties, because that way I will understand your mind more. Because if I'm in the relationship perspective where I'm looking at you like a boyfriend instead of my friend, I feel like I'm going to have these expectations of you that are unrealistic, because I'm an unrealistic girl. I have really high expectations, and I think it's because I've been single for so long, and I've had like these fantasies in my head, and I treat myself better than like, you know, anybody really has. No offense to you, Devin, like you treat me nicely, but I'm just saying like I know what I would love in a perfect relationship, but there is no such thing, and I know that, but I'm also a bitch, like I said. So sometimes when he's not like when he's not acting the way I want him to exactly, I get really mad, and like I just like give him the silent treatment, or like I'll just like just like really overanalyze everything he's ever said to me, and I'll just complain about it, and then he'll be like, Scarlett, why are you bringing this up? And I'm like, I'm a bitch. That's really it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I have issues. My brain just keeps circling around the same issue. And I feel like that's why, you know, sometimes it's important to step back from like an intimate relationship. Even if you love somebody, I feel like, you know, sex can kind of confuse things. Like, it can make you feel worse about somebody if you're having sex with them and they're like arguing with you. Just take a step back from that. Like, that's what I'm doing. And then honestly, we've done that before for like 11 days, and then he like looked at my ass, and then he slapped it, and then he fucked the shit out of me. I'm sorry, but that's what happened. So we live together. I mean, let's be realistic here. We're probably gonna have sex again. I mean, I care about him a lot. I do. But like I said, you know, sometimes there's like a dynamic and it's like lopsided, you know, like lopsided breasts. I don't know why I use that as an example, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes two people need to find like a good balance, and we're just like lopsided. I'm up here, he's down here. I'm not saying I'm better than him. I'm just like using that as an example. Like, you know, there's like, he expects this and I expect this, and then, you know, he expects this and I expect that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, we want different things, and we can't give that to each other until we establish like a friendship connection. Because like, if you think about it, it's called a boy friend, you know, not a boy enemy. Not a boy enemy, a boyfriend. They call it that because it's someone that you're friends with, who you are, you know, who you like to the point where you want to have sex with them, and you want to kiss them, and you care about them like that. And I'm just saying, like, if you're not friends with somebody, do you really need to be having sex with them? Like, I know sex is a pleasurable act. I know it feels nice, but at the end of the day, if that's all you're doing is having sex to love each other, you need to take a step back and realize some things about your actual relationship. Because sex is not that. It's not a connection really emotionally. It's just bodies, you know? And like, I mean, the sex could still be good when you're having issues, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you need to take initiative to take a step back and make more of a connection, because sometimes the connection is lopsided, like I said. Like, it's like, what are we doing? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make shit up. I'm trying to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. Look. That's what I'm going through right now. So, I don't know. I'm just making a YouTube video, because my baby's sleeping. That's why. And my lips feel crusty. It's real nasty, I don't know why. But honestly, let me tell you something. Every time I look at that thumbnail of me talking about the Dune movie, I'm like, God, I look like a fucking rat. Because, like, my hair's like that, and then I have, like, this black-ass lipstick, and, like, I don't look good with black lipstick. Like, my boyfriend likes it, but I feel like it really doesn't compliment me. Sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you look down in my channel, at the very beginning, I did, like, a Christmas, chip eating ASMR video, and, like, I was wearing this nice black and, red wig. Oh my god. And it was, like, straight, and I looked really good with black lipstick in that video, but, like, sometimes, like, I think it's just sometimes, like, the dynamic of my hair and my makeup and my outfit just doesn't look good together, but in that in that case, I think it did look good. But also sometimes I just be willy-nilly with it, and also just sometimes, like, I just be crazy, bruh. Like, sometimes I just don't care, and I be doing something crazy. Because I am. If you looked at my old YouTube channel, it's literally under the same name. Like, I've had so many different ways that I've done my hair and my makeup. You could just look at it and go, yeah, she's got mental issues. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Like, I'm not joking. Like, literally, I feel like some people you can look at and go, yeah, you're mentally ill. And I think I'm one of them. Because, like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I'll literally, like, be in the jankiest fucking outfit, have the jankiest hairstyle, and I'll be recording a YouTube video and I'll post it. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. Honestly, my hair is in a really weird spot right now. It's, like, this long. I know I'm wearing hair extensions, but, like, I mean, like when it's natural, it's just in a really weird position, and it has a weird haircut, because, like, I cut it here, like, the layers right here, and then there's another layer right here, and then the other layers down here. It just looks real weird. So, like, when my hair's long, it looks good, and when it's dyed correctly, it's also dyed very incorrectly right now, because I haven't had the time to re-dye it, because I have a baby, and I need to save my money, so I need to chillax. I just had leftover dye, so I just went, you know, but yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. Yeah, thanks for watching my YouTube video. I gotta check on my baby, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, like and subscribe if you want to. I don't really care, period. Period, bitch. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.